Petty Street.
Maybe not on the street, but you know, I live in the neighborhood. I travel through the
You
neighborhood
travel
occasionally.
occasionally.
Hey, what y'all up to?
Well, I don't know, sometimes it's like that sometimes.
Just because let me see. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is this right?
Check.
One more time.
Check.
Okay, that's right.
You might do this one.
Oh yeah, that's number 3.
Check. Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
And this one's number 2, I believe. Yes, it is. Yes.
This is an emergency. I wish you would come out to Corinthians one of these Mondays.
I will next year. Check. Yes, we're good.
We're good. Good to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
See, I occasionally gotta. That's why I don't get on cameras and shit, because I go low for a while.
Yeah. You took a nice picture. Where was you going? You were going somewhere. I think I commented on it.
Oh, to the studio.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice picture. That's why I was like, what?
Oh, wow, thank you. I put another one up so you gotta like it.
I was like, wait a minute. Is he coming out?
Just still alive, but you know, I'm not coming out.
He's not coming out.
Nah, I'm just staying up. I still think we're going to have to make you another intro because it doesn't quite completely run with
what we're doing now. Yeah, I was thinking about that too because I said I was going to ask Mike to send me something. I still want it hot and sexy, but I wanted to align with, you know, our title and all. Plus, I think we should do a for the challenge.
I'm not messing with that shit.
I'm not talking about, I don't want to do it. I want the beat, but I'm thinking more of a for the show challenge.
I got you.
You know, I'm friends with my son on Instagram, so I can't do that kind of challenge.
I was just like, what in the blue hell is going on? I'm like, are y'all niggas serious?
Yeah, I don't want to do it on that level because, like, you know, like my son look back and be like, or his homeboy said, "Is it your mother?" Not a good
the
look.
whole thing, but you just didn't do it to a beat, so it's all saying.
I just want to, you know, I like it because I think it makes light of everything else that's going on.
Yeah. But I don't want to hear no more for the D challenges. I don't. I'm done with them.
You done with them?
I'm done with them. I'm like, you know what? All right, we good.
Yeah.
I'm not doing none of nothing for the P, no the nothing. You know.
We need something sexy though. You know. Are we live?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. We kind of need a little something sexy. It'd be nice to have.
Well, that's why we have you.
My men's My men's and them.
We'll oil up next time.
Yeah, all up. I need you to get your mind right for Halloween too.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go as Halloween as an employed black man. How about that?
No, I need y'all to be hot and sexy.
Yeah. Someone's got to be the boring street guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll let y'all off the hook last year. This year, we going in.
I'll just tell you.
Is that the doorbell?
Yes, it is.
I told you. Well, it's what? 6:59. You good. Oh yeah, he ain't gonna be able to do nothing with that.
It's not gonna lean down on that, so I'll take that. I'm gonna have to adjust this again. I'm gonna have to take one of these chairs.
Oh,
I need a chair.
Okay. You want me to slide this one around?
Can you? Will it fit? Making adjustments for late people.
Okay. Still ain't up the steps yet. Which?
How's that?
Is that too wide? I gotta ask.
Too wide?
I mean, let me see. Is that gonna work for you?
Huh?
Is this chair gonna work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You?
What up?
My blood pressure.
I'm glad mine ain't.
Dramatic.
Bees like that sometimes.
I'm glad my pressure ain't up.
Hey, I'm gonna give you number. No matter of fact, I'll take this. I'm gonna give you this one. That's number 2. Just watch this cord. Okay. So we're going to. I'm just gonna cut in. $703. Good Lord.
Okay.
Let's just go. This is like 1. You're on.
We're good.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. You're tuned in to the Intimacy Chronicles. I am your host, Queen Jackie, and to my left.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This your boy, one and only Dr. Love. What's happening?
The diva.
Don't fucking judge me.
Oh, you're going
You're gonna be judged tonight.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yes.
To the far left.
We're a little late on our regular scheduled program because, you know,
Because we were waiting for the
Mr.
diva.
Sticky Bun Sexy Diva
Okay.
himself.
Okay.
Don't make me pop it.
I mean, now he want to pop and lock and all of that.
Pop your ass about 10 minutes early.
Hey.
Okay, I mean,
Hey.
God damn, he got to make a grand entrance. And so, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. I think, that's
You
me.
are? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Kathy. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Tonight's topic, let me just give a shout out because the Quiet Storm will not be here tonight because his son is sick. So tonight he will probably be in the group playing devil's advocate. I'm going to stream live from Facebook for about an hour, and then I'm going to finish out the show on Instagram at Queen_Jackie A. Our topic tonight is actually going to be, is he or she right for you? And because they are a nice person, does that mean they're the right person for you? So I think that's going to be pretty interesting. Oh, cool, Kathy. Thank you. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining. So, I'm curious to hear, y'all intake on this. I will share this story because I remember a couple of weeks before my dad died, we were having a very intense conversation. And we were just talking in general. And I said, oh, well, he's a good man. And my dad was like, what's a good man? So I actually had to sit there and think about that and what my definition of a good man was. And my dad's response was, well, sugar, just because a person's a good man doesn't necessarily mean he's the right man for you. And it really took me a while to think about that. I was sitting there with my mouth open like, that's something to think about. Mm. And you and I had that discussion because it's always a question, or it's in the back of my mind like, wow, I never gave that any thought. So, what's your take on that?
Well, I mean, sometimes we. Oh, hello, all of you out there in TV land. As far as the right one, sometimes we never do the whole complete evaluation of the situation. Sometimes we base the person on our feelings, on what they doing for us, how they make us feel, and sometimes that's not always the best way.
Right.
Because then, if that person let us down, then we find ourselves blaming ourselves for not doing the complete evaluation on that person. It's more than just, a person making you feel good. We talking about someone that's going to be with you in the long haul. Just as well as the seasons change, you don't want that person to change. You want that person to always stay the same. But through your ups and your downs, you got to make sure that person is going to be there. So sometimes just saying, okay, well, that person gave me gas money, that doesn't mean that person is right for you. That means that person didn't want you to call them.
Yeah.
Because you ran out of gas.
Yeah. And I think, when you said about you don't want that person to change, but obviously if you're in a relationship, you want them to evolve. Evolve.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Mr. Sensational?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, first of all, you got to shine the camera on them because, this man.
If you get the supersized golf out the way, we can probably see him a little bit.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to take for a slurp. But we got to shine.
That's all you get.
We got to shine the core. The core.
Mr. Sensational.
The core. We got to say that Mr. Sensational looking like Peebo Bryson over here.
Oh, okay.
Damn. With the curly hair. I know he... I know he worked half of the evening on that motherfucker.
That's because I got that solo.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Damn.
Sensational been taking pictures. I mean, I seen a fly picture of him on Instagram, and I was like, oh, somebody's bringing sexy back.
She's just letting you know I'm still alive.
Okay. I'm like, okay.
You doing more than just letting people know you're alive.
Yes.
I'm not doing anything.
So, Mr. Sensational.
Yes.
Because a person is a nice person, does that automatically make them the right person for you?
Hell no.
Care to elaborate?
There are a lot of nice people that I wouldn't want to spend more than 5 minutes with.
Okay.
They're just because they're nice doesn't mean that they're compatible.
Exactly.
there's so many complexities to a relationship, and being nice is just one of a dozen qualities that someone would need to be
right,
a suitable mate.
right.
You know, so okay, that's good. You got one, you know, in the
Check.
kitty right there. That's check 1.
Yeah.
But we've got like check 9 through 11 still.
Exactly. And that nice might be the only check
Yes.
on the list. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's always the only check.
Right? They nice to you. You know
They're
what I'm
nice,
saying?
right? Exactly. Yeah. Well, they're nice just in the beginning. You know,
that's a good one. When we talk about those representatives.
Those representatives.
Yes, Lord.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, being out. Well, I know Mr. Sensational is not in a relationship currently. I'm never sure what your status is.
Oh, he's an international lover. That's what he does.
And there's no shade intended. You
No,
know.
no pun intended.
A little bit.
No pun, no shade intended. I understand.
So you care to, elaborate on that status?
I'm still in the dating
Okay.
the dating mode. But you know there is someone who's
Make your toes curl.
yeah, huh? You gotta watch this. She's sliding. She's
You
sliding.
know what? Just
She's
get
sliding.
smooth with it.
She's sliding that
You
in
know
there.
what? Oh no, we're not gonna have that.
Okay, my
she's
bad.
It's still a 2 to
I'm
1.
gonna-
You know,
I'm gonna put the little
yeah,
cat back
yeah.
in
Well, I
the
need
box.
you to say
'Cause she
something.
being a little sneaky,
Back
so I'm
it
gonna
up,
put
you
her back
know.
in the box.
But yeah, you know, I mean, you know how it is.
I mean, you cheesing and carrying on. He got.
I mean, like I said, you talk about somebody who's, you know, been there, you know, for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's definitely. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it ain't been no ups, because it has. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there ain't been no downs, because God knows it has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when you can come to what a lot of relationships miss, and that's called a common ground, where you can see both sides. You can see her side and you can see your side. Sometimes we have to evaluate ourselves in order for us to see that person's side. Because to us, we just think that we fine. We think that we ain't shit wrong with us.
Well, and that's because a lot of times we don't want to get naked with ourselves.
Right.
What do they say?
You know.
Reality is a bitter pill.
It's a bitter pill.
Uh-huh.
And I remember in the very beginning, Mark, you and I had this conversation because a lot of times people are not willing to snatch the sheets off themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody wants to come front and center with themselves because they've created this illusion that everything is fine with them.
Right.
So
It's called denial.
it is denial when you start
With
peeling
some-
those layers
Yeah.
and you start to realize, well, hey, I might be kind of a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I need to work on this. If you've gone from relationship to relationship and it ends a lot of times because of the same things, it's time to do a self-exam,
Yeah.
A lot of times we're not willing to do that because nobody wants to say, hey, I have some problems. Nobody wants to acknowledge that.
Yeah, because denial and accountability don't play well together.
Exactly. But, as far as growing up, you'd have to, at some point, just take a look at yourself. You would have to want to do that in order to start having healthier relationships.
You know, a lot of people don't want to examine themselves, but this is how you need to examine yourself. Number one, if your mate is telling you something, you 9 times out of 10 you'll listen, but you may not believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But if a friend tells you the same thing, then you kind of understand that, okay, this person and this person can't be wrong.
Preach, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's true because oftentimes you feel like because that's your mate, oh they're picking, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that friend knows you a lot of times just as well and telling you the same thing. Then it's like ding, 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 and also it's presentation.
Right. Right.
That because your mate is going to tell you completely different than that friend.
Well, the mate is telling you one thing, then you got the friend telling you another. But the worst part is when you figure, you know what? Because some of us we listen to the mate and we listen to our friend, but sometimes to some of us that's just ain't enough. Mm-hmm. So then we go and get an evaluation from a totally different friend that knows of your situation, but they don't get into it because you don't really let them know all of the stuff that's going on. But when they tell you, now it's like, oh, okay, now the light went off. Okay, yeah, now I need to change.
Yeah.
Now I need to change.
Nah.
Maybe right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't listen to our mate. Some of us don't listen to our mate. We'll listen to our friend before we listen to our mate.
Some of us don't listen to anybody.
Yeah, that is true.
That is a great point.
That is true. But let me ask this question. Why is it that we won't listen to our mate, but we'll listen to our friend that tells us the similar, not and maybe exactly verbatim, but that's almost the same thing that our mate told us?
Because we don't want to believe that the mate is correct. And I'm just saying in some cases. I always say, I have 2 reality checks, and those are my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And they always tell me the same thing. And I actually had to really think about this. My brothers always say I can be intimidating. I don't see me as that way. But I do have a very strong personality. I will say that. I think if I had to date again, God knows, yes, exactly. I don't think I could because I'm not willing to change the person I am. But I do know that there are some things about me that I probably need to work on. Don't come for me.
All I did was wait. All I did was raise an eyebrow.
Right. So I know what that exactly.
That eyebrow could have been like, you don't say. Or it was really now.
Mr. Sensational.
Oh,
when
yeah?
you look at somebody like that and say, you don't say, that's like, yeah, man, because you could be a son of a gun. You know what I'm saying?
That was the warm-up.
Exactly. Don't fucking judge me.
Well, it's bad when you got a friend that know you, boy. I tell you.
But I mean, I recognize certain things about myself.
Right.
And I know it isn't easy, being married to me. So,
right.
Again, don't fucking judge me.
Oh yeah. We won't.
But I think nowadays, if I had to venture out, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen because where I am at 51, I'm not taking no shit off of anybody.
Exactly.
And I can be content to be by myself, especially because I've been married for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So it would be no need for me. I think it'd be more hard for you. It
wouldn't be. I ain't gonna say hard, but it would be to the point where a guy would have to come with a certain curriculum. He would have to have his T's crossed and his I's dotted.
Oh, game plan has to be.
Exactly. You would have to come in with a G.I. Joe strategy for this woman, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Lord,
I'm telling you because let me just say to all of you out there in TV land that if you Jack is a sweet person, but there's times There are times that, you know, if you look at her, if you like look at her, she can give you the look of,
you don't want this.
matter of fact, if you think that you want this, I'm gonna listen to the bullshit and see how you gonna come at me.
Or just slap yourself ahead of time.
Exactly. Or, you know what?
So
Just kill yourself. Just kill yourself. Just kill yourself.
Y'all so wrong.
Because it can start off nice, and then all of a sudden, that you done seen it. You done seen it. You done seen the head and the neck go. Yeah, I'm marking them. You damn right. Y'all done seen. You done seen it.
Oh, that's cold.
You done
man.
seen
That's
it.
Cold.
And especially
so cold.
especially when she cross her legs and do that at the same time and then got her hands planted like this.
1, 2, 3, tap out.
I'm telling you, man. I done studied her. I done studied her. That's as cold. I'm telling you, I done studied her.
God.
So
I'm not that
I've seen it.
I'm not
I've
that
seen
bad.
it.
But I will say, I can give a look that said, listen, just because I'm listening to what you're saying, it doesn't mean I'm buying into the bullshit. I will give you that look. I might not
The look
check
she
you
gives
on
you,
it, but I'm thinking.
the look she
really.
gives you is, you want some of this rope?
Right. Have some more.
I think
You want
we
some
did
of this
that
rope?
when we did the show last week. I think we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Show it. Oh my God.
Yeah, we did
Oh
that.
my God. Jeez.
Yeah.
We gave this. First of all, hi Lawan. Like to say hello to all the people. Hey, how y'all doing? But we gave this guy some rope.
Well, please.
But this one over here was getting hot.
Ooh.
To the point where she was sweating
Let me-
over this motherfucker.
No, let me just.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, hang
Talking
on.
about
I'm gonna need you to
they
talk about
speaking. He is seriously speaking some knowledge, right?
that. Right.
So the whole time he doing that, I'm sitting there just like this. Jackie's sitting right here, so I would do one of these numbers. Okay.
So it wasn't looking good for him at that.
Okay.
It wasn't looking.
And I
good
let him
for
talk. Then I started digging up in him because he didn't know that he was contradicting himself.
Right. Yeah.
And the more that he kept talking, making it sound good, at first to her,
Right.
when I lit up in him, then
good.
she was like a little midget who jumped on my back and was like, "Get him!
It wasn't,
Get him!
Here's the thing. Here's
Get
the
him!"
statement that I do not like. I mean, I really. Hey Annie. Hey Ashley. This is the statement that I cannot stand. It kind of I mean, when a guy makes a statement, a man is going to be a man. Ooh, Lord. That bulldog comes out. Because to me, what that statement says is you just got to let a man do his thing. All that bullshit that black women were taught coming up. You know, he's a good man. Let him go out there, do his thing as long as he come home to you. So every time I hear a guy say a man is going to be a man, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit that I've ever heard, and I'm never accepting of that statement. So I lit into his ass when he said that. I was like, don't ever say that because that's bullshit. And that's saying because you a man that gives you a right to go out there and cheat. That gives you a right to have some broad on the floor freaking the shit out you while your woman's sitting there.
And that's what he let happen.
Exactly. So yeah. So he deserved that tongue lashing. Yeah.
That's what he let happen. Because we were trying to find out. He said him and his girl went to a party. And his girl doesn't dance the way he want her to dance. So she sat down. And he got on the dance floor. And there was a woman that came on to him and started dancing on him. And she turned around and she was bending over and was kind of freaking him or whatever.
Putting on him. Okay.
Yeah.
But he basically said that his woman knows him, so she knows that he ain't gonna do that. I said automatically, you need to stop drinking. That's what I said to him. I said, you need to stop drinking.
Okay.
I said, because the reason that your woman pulled you off the floor wasn't because of the dancing. She pulled you off the floor because you were enjoying the dance.
She saw his facial
You saw the facial expression and she pulled your ass off the floor.
And it's about respect.
Then he turned around and said that if his woman went and danced with a guy, that he wouldn't, what he say, he wouldn't have a problem with it, right?
He wouldn't have a problem with it.
But the thing about it is that if the guy wrapped his hands around his wife's waist, then he'll go over there and say something to him. So a woman can freak you on the floor, but if a man do it to your wife,
he's got a problem.
You got
But see, you know what though? This goes to the whole accountability.
Exactly.
Now, I'll give an example. I was in a relationship years ago. She liked to go out and dance and whatnot. So we went to a club, danced a little bit. I didn't want to dance anymore. She wanted to go. I said, fine, you want to dance with someone else? That's cool.
Okay.
I have no issue with that. I know what I'm doing. Now, if the guy got out of hand, I shouldn't have to go up in there and step in.
Yeah,
she should have checked that at the door, because by the time Mark gets over there, it's not going to be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I expect her to behave accordingly as well as I will have to behave accordingly.
I agree.
Which is the same thing that we told him.
Exactly.
So that the minute that you saw that woman put that butt on you,
he had to get up.
You should have said automatically, hold on, baby, we just dancing or whatever. Because I said, first of all, you're a man just like I'm a man. If a woman dance with you and the minute, let me know if I'm wrong, because I made this statement Monday, so let me know if I'm wrong. At any given time, if you are dancing with a woman, okay, and the woman is not your girl, okay, and let's say she start dancing provocatively, not provocatively, but just start getting dirty dancing, okay. The minute that your man get hard. Is that not cheating?
Exactly.
That is cheating.
Because you've gotten excited, and that's the thing. His facial expression changed. That's why his woman got an attitude.
Exactly.
Because she knew her man.
And because he wasn't doing. First of all, this is what I told him. Number one, if you take your woman to a club to dance, if she's not dancing the way, okay, I'll use me. If I take a woman to the club to dance and she's not dancing like I want her to dance, guess what? It's my job to teach her. I'm not going to tell her, okay, well, you go in and sit down. I'm going to go in and dance on the dance floor and dance with a total stranger.
Well, see, first, I want to understand, what does he mean by she doesn't dance the way he wants it to?
Come on, you know what we're talking about. You
so
know how
he wants her to, drop it on the floor and freak him on.
I mean, at least he wanted to, grind on him.
He's a dancer. He's looking to break into show business.
At the club.
I'm just telling you what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. But it had nothing to do with the woman freaking up on him.
And he
claims
his
woman is there.
And he claims that he didn't know why his woman snatched him off the dance floor, because he wasn't doing nothing wrong.
He tried to say
I don't know why she's still with him.
Exactly. That was my thing, because if I go to the club with her, ain't nobody freaking up on him. Because as a man, he's going to say, listen, my lady's over there.
Right.
And vice versa.
And I told him, I said, the minute that she started dancing on you, you should have said something to her the minute. Okay, this is what a woman does.
Exactly.
When a woman goes to a club and she's by herself, when she start dancing on you, a woman will send a signal as far as a dance move to see if you are single or if you're with someone.
That's true. That's how it goes down.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So if she gives that signal and you don't say nothing, that's the green light for her to continue.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
he made it permissive for her to do that.
Exactly. And that's why we dug up in his ass.
Yeah, and I also felt like he was intentionally trying to make his girl jealous.
And see, that's a punk move.
Right? And that's a punk move.
And we also said that to his face, you're a disrespectful motherfucker.
Yeah.
You disrespectful. You are disrespectful. No man, first of all, no man takes their woman to the club and let her dance with somebody else. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like me making a fucking sandwich and saying, hey, I done put all my heart into the sandwich. You go and eat it.
But you know, like I said, I didn't care if you wanted to dance, but all that touching thing and whatnot.
You have
that
to
wasn't
set
happening.
boundaries.
It was a boundaries like this.
Yeah.
Air. There has to be air. If you want to sit there and two-step with somebody,
right?
Fine.
That's different.
You know, you do that
but
in the
no
club.
Touch.
Somebody around, you do the little.
Yeah, no touch.
There's none of that. It's not that type of party.
Yeah, I love to dance. So a lot of times if I go out and a guy wants to dance with me, we're not doing any touching. It's just not happening. But a lot of times when I'm out, I end up, like it might be I'm out with my cousins or, you know, a couple of friends. I'm going to dance with them just to avoid, you know, somebody saying, oh, you led me on. You know, so I'll dance with a woman most of the time.
Why do you think two women dance at the club together?
Because they're not trying to dance with some guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
they're not gay.
Yeah.
They're not gay.
It's a safety zone thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for guys. I mean, let's keep it real. The dance is basically, in some extent, a mating call. You feel what I'm saying? People go out on the floor. Oh, you see it all the time. You have one person by themselves doing their little bump and grind and whatnot, just partying by themselves, waiting for somebody to come up.
Yeah.
And they might go through a song or two, and nobody comes to go sit their ass back down the bar.
But a woman doesn't need another woman to attract a man.
Yeah, but women do everything together. They go to the damn bathroom together. They sit together. They go to the bar together. They're like always. They don't leave each other. That's the wing.
It's that
original.
Safety. Yeah.
Exactly. So they don't leave each other.
Yeah.
So you have to expect that. They're not leaving with you. It's like, well, my girl's with me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You better have somebody for her too, because they're not splitting up.
What, Richard? What he's talking about?
Richard, man.
Nate, keep it real. You make the hell out of a tuna sandwich.
Hey,
ain't nobody messing with him
I
tonight.
made two today.
Come on, dog.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Ain't nobody messing with him tonight.
You gonna do that right now? Oh my God.
So let me just ask a question. Since that is our topic, is he or she the right one? Tell me about some of your past relationships where you thought the person might have been the right one.
The past ones, I thought that they were the right one. You know, there was something about me that I had to change, and back in the day, I used to fall in love quick.
Okay.
Quick, like not in like a day or two, but like let's say after a month and a half,
right,
or whatever. Especially if I could just feel the vibe there, or whatever.
Did sex play a part in you falling in love quick, or
that was majority of it?
Okay,
I'm
most definitely.
You know, I mean, because most definitely. But you know, to the question you asked, well, what is the right one? So to me, I thought, you know, cooking the dinner, because you know they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
I think that's also the biggest bullshit.
Yeah. Oh no!
It's true.
Contract.
It's true as a mother.
It won't get its stamps. It'll extend it.
Right. That's
true.
Exactly.
It's true.
I like
true.
how you put that.
But I would say automatically that I guess it's the way that the woman touched me, the way that we conversated, the way that she looked at me, the way that she held me, just the laughter or whatever. So I'm thinking that that's the right one. And it's kind of messed up because see, when you start thinking that the person is the right one, then you start opening yourself to start doing shit.
You do.
That you know you really ain't supposed to do because that person 9 times out of 10 is using you. Like when we feel like the person is the right one, we start, paying bills, giving them money, buying them stuff, the whole 9 yards because of the sex, because of certain conversations that they probably may have opened up to you, and who knows, they could have been bullshitting. But you never know at that time.
Yeah.
You find yourself where you thinking is the right one. You find yourself doodling their name at the desk. You in
the 5th grade. But,
No, there's some grown motherfuckers out here that's still doing that shit.
That's what you were doing?
I mean, I was.
That would be a yes. There are trees outside carved in. There's sidewalks
that has so-and-so's name on there.
Yes. You can just trace his history like going through the caves and whatnot.
I didn't go that far.
You didn't do the name at all.
You got the hieroglyphics.
Maybe in the book.
Okay.
But not in the concrete.
Don't be sitting there acting like... Hey, Winnie, how you doing? Don't be sitting there acting like, oh, no, I didn't do this. But, I mean, they gave you something
that's good if you felt like that. You know
exactly.
What I mean? That's a beautiful thing.
It's just the feeling. I mean, let's be honest. We all want to be in love.
Oh, yeah.
We all want to feel love. We all want someone to love us. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we open up our heart to the wrong people. That representative.
Because they made us feel something that we might not have felt before.
Exactly. It's like they brought you out of your shell.
Or your common sense.
Huh?
Or your common sense.
Well, brought you out of common sense too.
Well, yeah, and I mean, because we are searching, I think sometimes they catch us at the right time, and they tap into something that we might have shut the door on. They kind of pried that door open.
Picked the lock.
We let down those walls, and we saw
went out the window.
It went out the window, absolutely, and we saw signs, but we was like, nah.
Not them.
Not them, exactly.
Not them.
And then all of a sudden, bam.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't hit it too early.
Now's
like. Do you think that's? I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Do you think that's so? If you have sex too early, that makes you vulnerable.
Listen, let me tell you like this.
A lot of people that become vulnerable behind
after the sex.
Listen,
I do believe that.
I don't know nobody,
especially women.
I don't know nobody who bought a car without test driving.
Men are just as bad.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you, especially if you have somebody, and I've seen it happen. Mm-hmm. Where they get opened up, they might not have been doing a whole lot previously. All of a sudden, they having this great sex on a regular, and they think that's love.
Yeah.
It's not love.
It's not love.
And well, see. It ain't love. It ain't love. I agree with you on that. It ain't love. But see, sometimes we can't get past the emotions because the sex is so good. Some say sex, some say intimacy. Where the intimacy is so good, where that person is hitting the right spot. So we just feel like that they are the one. You know what I'm saying?
Sensation.
It's the physical.
It's just like taking a drug. But
see what happens when that feeling is over. See, sex is a feeling. What happens when that feeling is over?
Well, you can't build your relationship on the physical, and we talk about intimacy a lot, but intimacy is more than the physical, and I think a lot of people have a problem differentiating that. You can have good sex. I've had good sex many times. It's not enough to build a relationship on.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
It definitely builds a friendship.
It can build a hell of a friendship. That phone a friend. You know what I'm saying?
where you be like, you are my friend.
See.
My
but I think that we need to know the difference. I think that
right.
Some of us decide, the sex is the bomb. And we convince ourselves that it's a relationship, knowing goddamn well it's not.
Yeah, that is true.
See, you know, that's why you need to have enough sex before you get into that situation where you know what it feels like.
You need a backup.
You need a backup, but you gotta be. But for real, you almost have to desensitize. See, she took it somewhere else. Right?
Yeah, she did.
I was actually.
Yeah, she did.
My bad.
That's why she looked at me with the big eyes and started getting ready to ran back.
But I know. Started revving up.
My bad.
I'm not mad at you, but I mean, no, but seriously.
Okay, Sasha.
I have to almost desensitize yourself to the sex in lieu of finding intimacy.
Yeah.
Because sex is a lie.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that if you make a commitment to just dating and having fun without the sex, I think that you have a better chance of getting to know them and knowing if that person is for you.
Right.
Once you put the sex on the table, it complicates things and it clouds your judgment.
It's so hard.
You know, absolutely.
It is so hard.
Absolutely.
It is so hard that when you it's so hard that when you are with someone that you enjoy being around,
but they're bad.
But
they're bad for you.
No, well, I'm not going to say that.
You don't see it until
right.
Yeah, you don't see it, and then once you throw the sex into the mix, oh shit, your blinders are totally on. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if that person hits that spot.
But you know what? A lot of times, people are just, dare I say, lazy.
Lazy in terms of doing the research?
I mean, not even doing the research, but as in, well, that's part of it. Mm-hmm. But lazy as in they get into a familiarity instead of finding what suits them.
Yeah, it's that comfort zone.
It might not even be comfortable, but the fact of the matter is, it's there. Mm-hmm. I know it's not right, but it's there.
And you know what I find a lot of times, and perhaps you all can speak on the men, but I think as women, a lot of times we're guilty of this. Because you're having sex with somebody maybe, a couple times a week, doesn't necessarily mean that is a relationship. But as women, because he might have told you that in the beginning that we're just friends, but as women, he might be staying the night, a couple of nights a week. In our minds, we start to make claims. When we do that, we set ourselves up to be hurt.
It's a relationship, but it's a physical relationship.
It's a physical relationship,
it's not an emotional
but
relationship.
That's not how a lot of women see it. And I just had this conversation with my son, and I told him, I said, listen, our feelings are now VJJ. You know what I'm saying? Because you had sex with us about 4 times or more. We've made a connection to you, whether you want to be in a relationship with us or not. You can't move somebody in and say that I'm just going to be friends with you, but you all are going to town every other day, because in that person's mind, it's a relationship. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times these young people don't get that. And then when a woman goes off, they're sitting around wondering, well, what the hell just happened? I made it clear that we're just friends. You might have stated that, but when you moved in, y'all constantly having sex. In her mind, she's cooking for you.
Washing your clothes.
In her mind, what she's thinking, he'll change his mind.
Right.
If I sex him real good, he'll change his mind. You know what I'm saying?
What happens outside of the sex? What happens as far as conversation?
They don't look at that,
and the quality time.
Yeah.
And, the plans for the future and the whole build, the growth.
Yeah.
People don't put stock into the most important parts of a relationship.
Exactly.
If I can't grow with you, I can't be with you.
But I think they're not thinking long term. They're thinking right now.
And there lies the problem. I say people are emotionally lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to really take stock into a relationship as saying, what, despite how great the food is, the sex is, all that other stuff, you have to ask yourself, what's good for me?
Right. Is there a foundation?
Is this fun for me?
Yeah.
Is this, enjoyable for me, or is it good for me?
Well,
right.
some of us think that we know what's good for us. Some of us think that we know what we should have in our life.
What we want.
According to...
Yeah.
According, and then sometimes it's according to what we done been through in the past. See, sometimes we take our past and say, okay, we're going to change it. And then when we see a change in this relationship, then we turn around and say, okay, well, this is the one then. Because this person is not doing what the last one did, and they doing what I would like for them to do.
But is it what you need?
Exactly. Because see, sometimes a person they do everything that you want them to do, but still that person is not for you.
Which goes back to the topic. It's like, just because they are the nice person, it doesn't make them the right person.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate on
I knew you would.
You know I am. Because of that post you put up, well, if he listens to you, does this, blah, 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 yes, he's perfect. They might be the right person for you. Mm-hmm. Are you ready for that right person?
And oftentimes, I think people are not. I think that they don't recognize that that's the right person for them. And sometimes, in not recognizing it, you think that perhaps maybe the grass is greener on the other side, and you bypass that right person because you're looking for more of what you want and not what you need.
People often sabotage good relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 'cause it's almost like, I would say, to make an analogy, you have this dream job. Mm-hmm. You get your job. Mm-hmm. But are you qualified for that job?
Right.
Now you have this great job. You can't sleep in the mornings. You got to work. You got to do the work.
You got to work, yeah.
You know what I mean? You asked for it. You got it. Mm-hmm. But are you willing to make the necessary changes within yourself to maintain it and foster it?
Right.
A lot of people want things, what they want on their terms.
Right.
Exactly. And you can't do that.
And sometimes we know we're not qualified, but yet we make ourselves qualified, knowing that we're not fit for this job.
Or fake it until they think you can make it.
And then next thing you know, you're fired.
You're fired. That's exactly what it is. You get fired because that representative is going to state their whole ass is going to come out.
Right.
At some point.
Next thing you know, you're fired.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what? You played it for a good long time. But
right, but your number's up.
Yeah, you're unemployed.
You're not what you purported to be.
Exactly. I think people don't realize that it does eventually catch up to you. Mm-hmm. I think that sometimes we are guilty of, and I can speak for myself, back in the day, I remember when I first started dating my husband. I had been out of a relationship for a long time, and he was such a great guy, and I was like, part of me felt like I wasn't deserving of that, like maybe I wasn't ready for what he was ready for, and
that's the nice Jackie, look.
I'm nice. So every now and then, don't fucking judge me.
I didn't say a fucking word. I didn't say a fucking word. Come on, man.
It was
oh my God.
It was the eyebrow.
Exactly. But I think, because when we met, I was 25. And we're 12 years apart. So I wasn't ready for what he was ready for. So I would kind of do little dumb shit, test the waters in a sense. And I had an older friend that would always talk to me and say, "What are you doing?" He was a guy. And he was like, "Why are you intentionally trying to sabotage this relationship?"
Wow.
Because that's what y'all do.
And at that point, at that time, because I didn't know what I wanted. At 25, I wasn't looking to be in a committed relationship. He already knew what he wanted. But I didn't. So, you're absolutely right. Sometimes we sabotage things because we are not ready. So I can definitely say, from experience, that happens sometimes.
And I'm gonna say that to all the ladies and the men. You said you want something. You asked for it. You prayed to God for it. Bring me this person. Bring that. When that comes,
don't act like you don't know what to do with it.
Well, they don't, because they can't believe that they have it.
Then you shouldn't ask
They
for it.
don't think it came that. They believe it can come that fast.
Exactly. And here's another thing, you know, since we're talking about that, because on people's wish list, you know, at the very top, it says a God-fearing. Now I want to talk about that.
Oh, see.
Oh, snap. Oh, man.
I want to talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Because let me just say this.
Oh, you women.
I think, but when men say this too.
I want a God-fearing woman.
That's at the top of the list. But what does that mean to you? And just because you see a man or woman in church every Sunday, it doesn't mean they're a God-fearing man.
Mm-hmm.
Satan got representatives in the church too.
Oh, I know that.
So I think that when we're talking about what we want, I think that's one of the things that should be tweaked. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can present themselves as a God-fearing person.
Some people reinvent themselves.
Some people reinvent. Hell, and you know, he's always my number one subject. So I'm going to take it to my dad. I love you, man. But you know, he was a Sunday school teacher. And I would sit in his class sometimes and I knew who the next victim would be. You understand what I'm saying? When he get that gleam in his eye and he's speaking on that word in the good book because he knew the Bible better than most. I think for a lot of those women it was a turn on and he knew it. You know, so he was a God-fearing man, but he knew how to use that Bible to get ass.
Oh, you know that the preacher and the pimp aren't
But
far
that's
apart.
what I'm saying. Are we so caught up in the illusion of a God-fearing person that because a person may not go to church, we look at them as perhaps not a God-fearing person?
You can't ask for a God-fearing person if you don't know God yourself.
Exactly.
And that's a great point.
Right.
That is a great point. But I think a lot of us equate that to they go to church every Sunday. That doesn't mean they're a God-fearing person. I know a hell of a lot of people that go to church every Sunday and their faith ain't worth a damn. The least sign of trouble, they're ready to throw in the goddamn towel. I don't go every Sunday, and I got a hell of a strong faith. So I think that when people are putting these lists together, they need to be realistic at some point. And because, again, when you say God-fearing, what does that mean? Do you actually know what that means? Because I think that a lot of people don't know that. Exactly.
Something they heard the grandma
Yeah, but
say.
that's what you're going to ask for. And, you know, because you see them in church, oh, he's a God-fearing man. Oh, he's this, he's that. Until you get that sucker home. And he want to beat the shit out your ass. Or he want to fuck the neighbor and her family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are we just setting unrealistic goals for ourselves?
That, you know what? I think instead of people making a wish list of their ideal meat, you can do that, but I think to coincide with that, you should make a wish list for yourself.
A realistic.
For your own improvement.
Right, exactly.
For my wish list, I have to have a self-improvement list.
Right.
Because for what I want, I have to be able to give. And be it on an equal footing with the things I want. You know what I mean? Because that great person, if you want that great person, they deserve to have a great person in return.
Exactly. You
or they're going to leave.
Yeah. You can't ask, and I think that's another thing that we're guilty of as women. You can't say he has to make 6 figures. He has to be tall, dark, and handsome.
Bump that.
He has to be fit.
I mean, you can do that,
Wait,
but don't ask for a Lexus driver if you got bus pass.
But that's the point that I'm trying to make. He has to make 6 figures. You only making $10,000 a year.
Oh Lord. Geez.
You know, you want him to be fit, but I'm just saying, let's be realistic. Work on the same things that you're looking for. How about making some improvements to where to self, then you can attract what you're looking for. But when your energy is kind of all over the place and you don't have self together, you're always going to get that wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And then you get an attitude because you feel like they misrepresented. This is the energy that you attracted.
Oh, the law of attraction is real.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is.
I thought you was God-fearing.
I am on my profile.
Right? Oh!
Richard said, "Pass
bang,
the, pass the drawers.
I'm about to walk out.
Pass the drawers or pass the Cavazier.
Pass the Cavazier.
Pass the Cavazier.
On Monday, but on Sunday, I'm God-fearing.
No doubt.
You understand? So, I'm always like when I hear people say that, and I know a lot of times, women, I'm not bashing y'all, but my thing is, I want y'all to be realistic in your approach and what you're looking for, and make sure you have your shit together.
Oh yeah, because you know women after relationship will catch God faster than a nigga get locked up. All of a sudden. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, he's scandalous for that one.
Damn.
Okay.
Scandalous. Real scandalous.
Yeah. So, I just be realistic. Look at yourself. Look at what you are bringing to the table for a potential mate, and you see some changes in yourself. Make those changes, but don't put it out there. He has to do this and he has to do that. What the fuck are you bringing to the table?
Right, because you can't make boasting all this stuff about what you want at the table, and you ain't brought nothing to the table. You ain't bringing the same thing to the table.
Yeah.
I checked your emotional credit, and you are not qualified.
See.
I'm sorry, I can't approve this relationship.
Yeah,
you have been denied.
Exactly. So I think that when we're talking relationships, I think a lot of times we're going into these relationships by the seat of our pants. Mm-hmm.
Some of us going with our pants.
Okay, and leaving them behind.
It took Sticky Bun to say that one, right?
Some of us going with our pants and panties. Well, I'm telling you. Hey, because here's the thing. We go into this all wrong. Some of us go into it all wrong.
A lot of times.
Some of us go into it because of what the person drives.
Yeah.
What the person have. The person's looks. Some of us go into it because that one night of sex then changed your whole outlook.
And you know what
I'm talking about, then took you to the moon. And the
stars
above.
Wait a minute, done left you on the moon.
Right?
Left you there.
Left you on the moon.
And said, I'll be back.
Right.
So you say, I'll make a sandwich for you.
And said, I'll be back.
I bring your sandwich to the moon.
I'll be back. So, and then as far as the man, then made us, then start sucking our thumb. You know what I'm saying? Then got us curled up in the fetal position.
Got your ass propped up in the air.
You know what I'm saying? Ass propped up in the air.
Woo! You just feeling yourself tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
This lady.
In a sex coma. You lift up a motherfucking arm, the bitch drop right back down. Motherfucker out for the count. Out for the count.
Drooling and shit out your mouth. Yeah.
But you know what that is when unqualified people do that. They're looking for those qualities that they do not find in themselves.
Yeah, true.
Which is a self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. If you know you don't have it and you're looking for it, you're not going to be able to keep it anyway.
Right.
So, stay with self, work on self.
Right. Absolutely.
Because it's a beautiful thing when you're together spiritually and emotionally.
Yes.
Yourself. Yes. You don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about, I got to find this person or that person, because you're whole.
Right. But so many people are going into these relationships broken, and they don't even know that they're broken.
But
No, they
do. A lot
No,
of times they do.
but I agree with that.
Some
but a lot
do.
of times they don't because they haven't taken the time to figure out who they are and what they want.
Or they.
I gotta disagree.
They
Some goes into it broken, expecting the next person to fix it.
Mr.
Well,
Captain Save-A-Ho, come along.
but you know
Captain
what?
Save-A-Ho come along and fix some shit.
But
Yeah.
I think
not
that
gonna work.
happens too. But I think that oftentimes some people, because again, like I said at the beginning, they're not willing to get naked with themselves.
And that's the whole thing. It's just like someone ignoring going to the doctor, knowing there's something wrong.
Exactly.
You know you have a problem.
Right.
You just choose not to address it.
Exactly.
And you're going into that relationship knowing you have baggage
Right.
that you're bringing in, that you're going to ruin someone else's life with.
Exactly.
Because you haven't taken the time and had the courage and the sense of self to say, you know what, I need to heal, examine, and clarify whatever that is that's bothering me before I drag someone else into this nonsense.
But they don't, because they want to, when they go into that next relationship, they want to cover up their mess, you know, and they're hoping that the next person, like he said, will fix them and their mess won't be exposed. You know,
can't hide junk in the
You
car. It's still
can't.
junk.
but they go into it, and it's an illusion, you know, that, well, hopefully everything will be fine with this. And they'll go from relationship to relationship blaming the other parties instead of taking a look within.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're and that's men and women. There
It's
has
both
to
of
be
us, yes.
a self-examination.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be.
Mhm.
If you can't do that, you cannot be in a relationship.
You cannot. And people aren't willing to take a break in between relationships to check themselves because they want to feel something. They don't want to be alone. And I think that's why we end up with a lot of broken relationships too, because people are not willing to take time out for themselves, to get to know themselves. They just want to feel good, so they're going to take that bullshit into another relationship. Sometimes you really need to be alone. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that. So
it's a good way to know yourself.
They understand it. They just don't want to hear it.
They don't want to
When you tell someone they should be alone, and you have someone, they looking at you like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to say. I know we've all heard somebody say that. It's easy for you to say you got somebody.
Right? Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So nobody feel, even though you have plenty of people who have said, I can do bad all by myself.
Then do it.
But then you got some, right?
Don't tell me.
I know that's your answer.
You know,
you do.
you know.
Seen it.
Yeah. It's real shady.
I know
it's real shady.
that's your.
But you know, at the same time, token, we don't want nobody to tell us that we need to be by ourselves, that we need to examine ourselves, that we need to look in the mirror and see what we did wrong to cause this situation to go sour. You know, because in our eyes, what's the first thing we'll say? Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I wasn't the cause.
The lack of accountability will keep you in ruined relationships.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me see if I got any comments here. Here we go.
And I'm telling you, the bullshit. Damn, Richard.
Emotional credit score 666. Crazy ass. That is the quiet storm. Then he says, there are no rules when it comes to love. Sometimes it hits you at the wrong time. Absolutely, Richard. Absolutely. Well, this concludes the first half of the Intimacy Chronicles. Join me at Queen_Jackie A on Instagram, where I will be streaming the rest of the show from there. Take it away.
I'm still
Dr.
rolling.
Love. Yeah. I think that's pretty interesting, though. Emotional credit score.
Yeah, we touched on that before. We have to qualify yourself to be within a relationship.
I like the emotional credit score.
Some of us are taking people that we know got fucked up.
And they got
credit score.
Emotionally, financially.
Wait a minute, they got 333.
001
411
911. And that ain't a good one either.
No. Like 3-1, it's just like a damn mess.
But I think that there you go, quiet storm. When we are talking about getting to know ourselves, I mean, let's be honest. And I'm talking to you two. Have you all sat on the edge of the bed or wherever and just actually thought about yourself and the things that you need to change as far as moving forward and preparing yourself for the next relationship?
Every day. I mean, I believe I replay my day. Mm-hmm. Throughout the day. I'm a list maker. I have daily, weekly, monthly goals.
Okay, that's
not
good.
Only with business, but with self.
Mm-hmm.
I say, you see, I'm drinking my water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my healthy thing right now. I have to do better with everything.
That's excellent.
Yes. I think it takes. It takes some time to get to that point sometimes.
It does.
But you have to really, it's about now, it's always been to me about actualizing. Mm-hmm. Being the best you that you can be.
Absolutely.
So, if you can do better, why not do better? Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing, it's easier.
That's true. I'm saying, why the hell is my mic drifting?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. I wasn't even paying attention to see that was moving. Oh man, that's funny.
Every day, each of us should do that. I think that is the only way for us to grow. When you're in these relationships, I still think that you should consistently do that because we change. Mm-hmm. The person I am today is so different than the person I was 5-10 years ago. Mm-hmm. My wants and needs are different now. So I'm always looking to improve. But I think a lot of times when people are going into relationships, I think they're not doing these evaluations of self.
Of course.
I think that they just want to feel good. And that's all they're focused on.
The reason why that they don't want to do it because some of us know what our ending result is as far as our evaluation. Mm-hmm. We know it's not good. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to tell ourselves that it's not good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we pretend that our evaluation is spotless. Mm-hmm. Knowing that we got some shit going on that we are just afraid to admit. Mm-hmm. Because some of us are blinded to our own eyes.
Yeah.
That we don't want to see the true us.
Right.
And then we get upset when someone else calls us out on our bullshit. So, I mean, you got to take the blinds off in order to be true to yourself. Mm-hmm. Because in order for you to have someone that you want true to you, you got to be true to yourself first. Mm-hmm. That way you can see their bullshit.
Yeah.
See, if you can see the bullshit within yourself, then you can see somebody else's bullshit and know that you're not going to take it. The reason that we take other people's bullshit is because we got bullshit within us.
But I think, and I'm going to have to slightly disagree. And the reason I say that is because I think it's so much easier for us to recognize the bullshit in somebody else, mm-hmm. because it takes the attention off of us. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we are going to be quick to point out their bullshit because we don't have to come front and center with self. So
it's easy to do that.
It's easy to do that. Exactly. And we want to say, well, you did A and you did B. But we don't want to acknowledge the role that we played in A and B. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not only destructive, it's kind of childish.
It's very childish. And because of that, then the relationship ends and you got all this other bullshit going on because of childishness. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you had checked yourself in the beginning, perhaps the relationship wouldn't be over or near its end.
And when it's over, be adults.
Just bow out gracefully.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Don't do the
yes.
subliminals on social media and all that nonsense. Just go away. Just be adults. You know what I mean? It's like if you got something to say.
I do agree with that. I think that
shut your mouth.
Yeah, when it's over, it's over. You know what I'm saying? To me, I think it's so childish to do petty shit. Let it go. It didn't work.
That's vindictive.
Now, let me read Quiet Storm. He say, but do we go into relationships initially naked and unashamed, or we evolve to that after we meet that person who's worthy of you opening up? Now, Ray says, that's right, bow out gracefully. And it's true. But I'm going to go back to the Quiet Storm. We don't always go into relationships naked.
And you know what? I understand that because people, you're not supposed to give everything to someone initially.
Yeah.
You do develop that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it depends on where you are personally. Are you mentally capable of doing that? Are you emotionally capable of saying, you know what, I'm a flawed individual? Mm-hmm. It's like, you don't have to give up all your secrets or whatever the case may be, but you have to have an open mind to the fact that, you know, there are some things that I need to work on.
Yeah.
And expect that it's not going to be perfect.
Exactly.
But I'm willing to at least acknowledge and try to work through that.
But I would imagine when you get to that stage where you're ready to say, I do, at that point, shouldn't you be naked?
Oh, completely.
Absolutely.
I mean,
but that's not happening in a lot of relationships. People are still entering into marriage and are not naked with themselves.
I think you need to be there before. I mean, when the physicality comes in.
All right,
you just doing shit.
You are just doing shit.
What? I'm listening.
I'm getting into my deep shit, and you just come with some like.
You distracting us with this.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to deep spaces.
Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought because he's stirring this damn Slurpee. My mind went out into the universe for a couple of seconds. You know, now I gotta bring me back.
He wants to get out over here and whatnot.
Okay, I think that when you start looking at the percentages of failed marriages, I think a lot of people say it's financial, but I'm going to say that a lot of it is because people were not completely naked with themselves and each other. They went into those marriages for the wrong reason.
Trying to fix their finances.
Trying to fix that too.
Oh my God! Please don't start talking about the finances.
He might have had a 300 credit score. She got a 700.
Jeez.
We're a good couple because she can help me come up.
To 500 each.
You know, I think that no one's a lot of time clear on what they're looking for out of the relationship.
Well, who tells the truth? Who's honest enough at this point in time to say, you know what, I have an attitude problem, my credit's jacked up, I'm grouchy in the morning.
I would be the one to say that.
Let me say this, because I said that too. I was straight up, I said, listen, you know, let me say this. And I say this all the time on the show. I'm petty. I'm an asshole sometimes, just sometimes. But I'm the nicest asshole that you'd ever want to meet.
The nicest asshole. Wow.
I mean, you know, game recognized game. That's why we get along.
Yeah, I'm very honest about who I am because, you know, I don't want somebody to feel like, but she wasn't completely honest. I always put myself out there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, were you that capable of, you know, embracing your inner assholism, so to speak, when you were meeting your husband?
I was probably more of an ass back then, but I didn't recognize it.
See, there's the question.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm serious.
You can be an ass, but
honest.
can you embrace it
Yeah.
and put it out on Front Street and say, look, I'm on some bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it back then. You know, I recognize it now. I embrace all of me.
Yeah, I mean, as you should.
Right.
But see,
there are
some
things that I need to work on.
So you can say that you're an asshole.
I can honestly say that I'm an asshole.
Ah.
I personally think it's
That's the first time I heard you say that.
No,
I've said that many times. I've said I'm petty. I'm very petty.
I've heard that.
I'm working on that
week.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I probably wasn't here that week.
Yeah. I am working on the pettiness. You know?
But she won't say petty.
It's like you don't
petty as fuck.
I'm trying to work on that.
With something, then you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's about recognizing some of your character flaws.
Exactly. If you can be honest with yourself, then you go ahead. You have license to do it if you say this is what it is.
This is what it is.
Because now at least that other person has the knowledge to say, I will accept that.
That's exactly. And that's the thing. We have to be honest. Either, you know, if you put your cards out on the table, I am this way, that way. I'm moody as hell, especially during this menopausal stage. It is the other individual, you know, that make up their mind to accept it. Rich said, Petty LaBelle. Damn right. Damn right.
Who said that?
If only you knew.
Damn.
Oh, she's on fire.
I might have had too much Delsum today, so.
She's about to kick her shoes off and roll around on the floor now.
But I mean, yeah, we seriously though, we should be honest, you know, moving into these relationships. I think that if you're looking to build a solid foundation, you got to come clean with your character flaws. That's the adult thing to do.
And see, you have to make that decision from the beginning. It's like, am I going to be honest and risk possibly not getting with this person? Or am I going to fake it and go in and then hope that it works out later?
And I think you're right on that. It's fear that prevents us from being honest. But I tend to believe if they are really into you, after you disclose certain things, I think that you all can work through it.
Well, they might run because this is early on in the game. You know,
well, you're not going to tell them on the first goddamn date, I'm a petty motherfucker.
Why not?
It's no reason for it.
Let
me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
They're going to figure it out.
Because I don't know if I'm going to want to go on a second date with them. So why am I going to disclose that on the first date?
But you can't say that person wasn't honest.
Huh?
You will never say that person wasn't honest.
I want to eat.
I would respect
and I want to
that.
have a cocktail.
Oh,
so are you telling me?
You going to lie for your stomach. Now, you some petty, that's some petty ass.
Don't fucking judge me.
No, we're going to judge you. Because you just said.
She said, I'm going to lie for a meal.
I did not say lie. I said that I'm not going to disclose that because I may not want to go out with them on a second date.
So help you God.
That first date will determine if there's going to be a second date. I'm not going to be like him and take $20 goddamn on a date, knowing damn well I can eat that by myself. I'm just saying.
She just threw that off in your
I know.
She trying to just deflect this pettiness that she threw out there. Did you see that?
But no shade.
I'm your road dog, but I ain't gonna accept this pettiness tonight. I ain't gonna accept this pettiness tonight.
No, you got to
fuck that.
No,
fuck that.
You got to give it a stone cold on that one.
Oh hell no!
Wait a minute, Richard said peppermint patty.
Yeah, fuck that.
But
I'm not helping you with that one though.
Like, no, petty, but I do like this steak.
I like to eat, but let me say this. If we're going out on a date, and believe me, I always have my own goddamn money.
Then be petty and
just in
go
case. And my dad always told me that take your own shit.
But you know what? I don't mind that. See, personally, I would respect that and be like, okay, I know what I'm dealing with.
Right. Okay.
That's not a deal breaker if you know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying? All right, you petty. I'm like, all right, well, I don't like to talk on the phone all the time. You know what I mean? That might be something that you like that I don't like.
Yeah, because you said that.
Let's throw that right out on the table right now. Have a good dinner, and maybe we'll have another one. Maybe we won't.
Right,
but
and that's what I mean.
Interesting as
Yeah.
hell for the first one.
Yeah, because the first, like I said, will determine if you're going on the second date. I think that I will disclose some things. Am I gonna say off the bat? Well, you know, I can be a bit of an asshole. Am I gonna say that?
I'm like, so
you trying to sugarcoat your own shit?
I said what I said in my
you just come straight out and say that shit?
Voice. I said what I said.
And you know what? And I would respect that too, because you know, asshole is just character with a twist.
It's
it's more of a cynical, nice person.
I am, and that's to me that's the perfect way to describe me.
I find that endearing, so I'm cool with that. You know, a lot of my friends are assholes. You know what I'm saying? I'm an asshole myself, whole ass. I don't care. It's all good.
I didn't know.
I did see what I'm saying?
Petty as fuck.
See what I'm saying? Exactly.
Pettyless pattern.
It's the fact that, like I said, if you're real and you're honest about it, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
You know, it's just like I told y'all.
I need to know. I need full disclosure.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I have bypassed many potential relationships by being honest. In the past, I'm like, you know what?
More so you dodged a bullet.
You know, I didn't dodge the bullet necessarily. I said, I'm going to let you dodge the bullet. Because, I mean, I've had situations where, I had a good conversation with a woman. I'll be like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about this work. I'm about doing what I need to do. I'm not going to be good for your ego because I'm not going to be calling you all the time. I'm not going to be texting you first thing in the morning every day. I'm not going to do that. So let's not even, front like this is going to work. Game. You know what I mean? Just we're cool, but that's as far as I'm suggesting that this would not be a good idea. You know what I mean? So at least you know up front what's going on, because I'm not going to lie to you.
So, and I think we talked about that before, the phone thing. I'm not one to talk on the phone a lot.
Mm-hmm. He just enamored by himself. You see him just blowing kisses to his phone.
I mean,
I
can't with you right now. Oh my God, I cannot with you tonight.
See him lick his lips.
First of all, his ass was late, but there's no shade, I'm petty.
She embraces it, so it's okay.
I
to the third fucking power, yo.
But you know what you're getting. That's the whole thing. You know what
But now back to this phone thing. I like to text, but after about the third or fourth message, especially if you send me a long one, I'm going to call because that shit gets on my nerves after a while. But let's say we are texting. Yeah, let's say we are texting, and I just sent you something simple, and then, and this may go back to that character flaw of mine, if you call me after I answered your question, I'm probably going to be annoyed.
Give an example, please.
Let me tell you why he's asking for an example.
Oh, okay, so there's a story here.
Because
Petty little
he has texted me. He called me Petty Little Pew. He has sent me a text, and I've answered. And then he will turn right around and call me.
Sometimes
and
you gotta
I
hear
get
it from the
so
horse's
damn
mouth.
annoyed because what I say is, I just answered his damn question. What the fuck?
It sounds bad. Well,
But you know what?
Like
I'm glad you put that out there. Next time you do it, I'm gonna pull you up. What? Cause she do the same shit. She do the same fucking shit.
Because she paid.
That's a lie.
What? You petty motherfucker. You.
Shots
Petty as
fired.
shit.
But yeah, I like to talk on the phone, but maybe not all the time. But I think I would definitely prefer to talk.
It depends on the
as
conversation.
opposed to- But I prefer to talk as opposed to texting.
Right, true,
Yeah.
true.
Because I think that
True.
sometimes miscommunications happen through text.
And I think this is fine. This is perfectly suitable conversation for that first interaction.
Okay,
That
I
first
agree.
dinner. I mean, I want to know. You know, let me know. All right, if I text you, you're probably not going to answer it within the first 2 hours. You know, let me know. It's like, oh yeah, I'm still, messing with my baby father. Whatever. I need to know these things. You feel what I'm saying?
Do we text to see if are you free? I'm asking this question because you two are single. So is that what you do? Is that it's like a feeler? Are you free?
Damn right.
Okay, I mean.
Damn
it
right.
Depends on the person.
I wanna listen. The text that you send tells me what I need to know. You understand what I'm
So
saying?
you just send a hello, how are you, or something simple to see where they are.
You have to check the temperature, but it depends on the person. Because some people that's cool with, there are some women that hate that. They be like, you need to tell them exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say because I know some women say, are you free? They're gonna always say no, because they're like, I don't like that. It's like either call and tell me something or just don't ask me that.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, just call me. I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like that. Just call me.
It depends on the time. Let's not forget that.
Don't call me before 9 a.m. because I need to have my coffee.
But you know what? Also, if you got to do that, see, there it is. But I can't.
Don't call before 9 a.m.
I can't come in and sit down, and eat something and drink a beer before she yelling and
don't call before 9 a.m.
I gotta wait till 9 o'clock.
Shade.
What if there was?
She don't answer after 9 a.m.
What if it was an emergency? I got to wait till 9:01.
I do answer.
Yeah, that
Come
was
on,
intense.
I do answer.
Come on, yo.
I'm saying.
Come on, yo.
I'm saying.
This is me. This
if
is
I'm
me.
working, first of all, let me tell you something. He never calls with a short conversation.
Oh,
It's got to be. You see when he gives a answer to a question on the goddamn show, it's damn near 20 minutes. So when he calls, I have to know that I have to not be distracted because
so you gotta sit down for that.
I gotta sit down because he always called me with some real shit.
You long with it, brother. Was really care to comment on? No, don't comment on that because we ain't got. It's only a 2-hour show.
Hey, fuck you, Mark.
So I gotta have my mind right when he calls because he got some stuff to
Because
tell me.
I'm gray headed with some shit.
That's what I know, and that's what I know.
Like someone has to prepare to talk to your ass.
Listen, it's a difference when it's a different. No, hold on.
Petty man, I know where you going with that.
Listen,
and you real
it's a
petty with
difference.
that.
Hold on, it's a difference when you know a motherfucker calling you with bullshit and they just wants to talk. When I call her, I'm calling her on some shit where like either I need to put you down with some shit. You need to know this. This is what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Your significant other will always think the same thing. But it might be like, guess what so-and-so said to me today. But they're going to swear that it is that important that she got to put you down with something. So, it is what it is.
Listen, because we are going back to this shit. And we about to get into this.
And half the time I do call it and it doesn't belong
all right,
with
now I want to know.
No,
I'm taking it. What questions are on the table, off the table?
Whatever, Westland.
First date, what questions?
What questions are on or off the...
and what would you like to know?
Are we having sex on the first date?
I mean... Well,
that's what you asking?
You know that, but we don't know
that. No, you're asking what questions are on or off the table.
On or off the table?
That's off the table.
And what would you like? See,
so you don't want you don't even want to be talking about sex on the first date?
I don't want you to ask me, are we having sex on the first date?
Have you ever said that to a guy?
Are we fucking?
Yeah.
No.
First date.
I've never asked that. And the thing that men need to understand, women know on that first date if you're getting the drawers or not.
This is true. Although sometimes brothers can pull a magic trick out the bag. They're like, I don't know what happened.
But
Right.
I'm not messing with them right now.
How do we get here?
Yeah, Ray. I mean, I keep trying to tell them that women know that we're going to give up the cookies the first night or not.
Is it because of where we take y'all for dinner?
And they can fuck it up. Look, y'all can mess it up because in our minds we might say,
God.
He might get a little something. But in a split second, y'all can fuck that up.
It's because of where you taking them for dinner. It's because of where you taking them for dinner. That's what it is.
She said, we know if you munching or not.
It's the difference between McDonald's and.
Well, you're munching on the first night. I'm not. I'm just making a general statement.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think we're gonna Dutch on that.
Shade.
Yeah.
That was shade. I'm not gonna lie. That was shade. That was shade.
Did somebody turn on the lights up in there?
You see, I got the blinders on,
That
right?
was shade on my co-host. That's my role.
Yeah.
Fuck
so
that.
That was shade.
Damn right.
But I mean, seriously, for
Turning
your
into
first
a
date
gremlin
question,
on the first night.
My first date question.
Yeah.
I need to know your current relationship status.
I think that's a valid first question. Or
that's a
valid first date question.
I'm like,
but aren't you having that on the phone? Aren't you gonna have that discussion before you even go out on a date?
Some people don't want to ask.
We're not going out on a date if I don't know your relationship status.
Some people don't tell the truth.
Fuck that.
I think every woman finds that out before they go out on that first date.
But
Because they're not trying to be out on...
But you know
they're
what?
not trying to be out on a date with you and then hear those words.
Somebody come
Who's this bitch?
Exactly.
But you know what? Some people will go out anyway because they hungry. They just want the meal, so they not going to.
I'm not dating if you're in a relationship.
How would you know?
I'm going to ask. And the thing
people lie.
People
lie all the time.
People lie, but we live in a technology age. How the fuck could you not find that out?
But people go on friendly dates that aren't relationship based. See, so you have to know, because some people will go on a date. Some will say with the intention on building a relationship. Some just might go out. I've been on dates like that where it's just like, hey, we just gonna go.
Y'all just hanging out.
We hanging out. You know what I mean? But you have to put that out there, because somebody might think it's an opening and it's not.
It's just a friendly. You just hanging out with them. Yeah, but you know that they're in a relationship and you're hanging out.
You may or may not. That's why you have to ask.
Yeah, but that's my point. I'm not
you have to know what the basis is.
Yeah. I'm not going to put myself in an uncomfortable situation, and I had this conversation with, I think, my little brother a couple of days ago. We were talking about when a woman finds out that her man is cheating. I've never understood this. Why in the hell is she so angry at the woman? It always blew my mind.
I'm trying to understand that about the men.
He's the joker that stepped out on you, but you want to fight her. I've never understood that.
Because she stole
But
her man.
perhaps, in a lot of cases, she may not know he's in a relationship because she didn't do her homework.
You have to ask.
You have to ask. Or, the person that's separated and dating. I am a firm believer that one door should be completely closed before you move on through another door.
Say it again.
You have to completely close that door before you walk through a new door.
Exactly.
I think that causes people to get hurt. I think that when someone says I'm separated, that there is always the potential to get back together. And you go out there and you meet somebody, because I know a couple that did that. They both were seeing someone, but they had only been separated for just a few months. What that told me was they both had somebody on the back burner, but then they got back together and they each had to break up with the other party.
And see, there is a reason why you're separated and not divorced.
Exactly.
Especially if it's past that time.
Right.
It's like, why? Haven't you just gone ahead and done it?
And
some people don't. They don't do it because of financial situations.
I know that that's the case too. And then, like, I know a lot of older couples that have been separated for 15 plus years. You know, they have no intentions on marrying again. I think that's a little different, but I just feel like if you're done, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up. There's no need to bring another party into that mess.
Right, because I mean, when it comes down to things, especially finances, you can't buy a house together. You can't do anything because you're still married.
You're still married, exactly. Yeah.
It's the you, me, and he thing going on.
Right, and you have no benefits if that party dies. You know, the married party does, but you're the outside girlfriend. You have nothing. So I think that people need to understand that, you know, when you go into those kind of relationships, there's no benefit. Make sure that door is closed first before you walk through that door.
Call me when that's done.
Call me when it's done. Then maybe we can talk.
There's strings attached.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not sharing anyone.
So let me ask you a question. When you're out on a date, start with you first, Queen.
I'm outdated, but okay.
When let's say if you went out on a date, what's the one thing that is a secret behind closed doors that you wouldn't mind telling a person when you go out on a date?
She doesn't shave. She doesn't shave her legs.
I don't shave. That's it.
And there you
have it. Damn.
And there you have it.
Here we go.
God bless good night.
God bless you. I tell you. You, Mr. Sensation?
One thing
that person don't know about you, but you know behind closed doors that you can say honestly that you would tell that person.
That I would tell the person that. Hold up, make sure I understand this right.
No, you heard the motherfucker.
No.
What would you tell them behind closed doors on the first date?
What do you do behind closed doors that don't nobody else do? No, that don't nobody else know that you would tell that person that you're dating right now?
Oh, why didn't I answer
before they find out?
Yeah, that's it. We understand it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why she said shave.
Oh, you know, we prompted that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, so. I'm straight 70.
Go ahead, man.
I eat onions raw.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I like it.
Raw?
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn.
Wasn't expecting that.
You thought I was gonna get some old crazy?
Nasty.
I've got a cave in my
Thank
house.
you, Westland.
No, you're not.
What Westland said?
Well, first of all, when I asked you the question, she said, "Here we go." Then when I sneezed, she said, "Bless you," and then she says about Mr. Sensation, he understands. He's trying to buy some time.
And the best that he could come up with was onions.
Onions. The best that he come up with was onions.
Come on. So what is it? I think I know yours. I know yours.
Shit.
I think I do
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
That you that you learned how to eat pussy from eating a pillow?
You always want to find a time to want to just throw that shit out there. It's just like you just can't let dead dogs lie. You just want to just throw that shit the fuck out there whenever you get a motherfucker. I want everybody looking at her motherfucking facial expression. She red as fuck right now, laughing hard as a bitch.
She was.
But that's not what the fuck I want to say.
It was like, hold up.
See, that's not what the fuck I want to say.
He eats pillows.
Turn her hair off. Let her ass roast in this bitch. That's not what the fuck I would say. That's not what the fuck I would say.
Actually, if you think about it, that's a hell of a secret to share with somebody on the first date.
Well, it's not a secret now.
Yeah, it ain't a fucking secret now.
He said, Quiet Storm say, the Phillips still probably stalking him. The pillow.
My pillow.
The pillow. That pillow. I'm sorry.
Look here,
My
little
bad.
boy Blue. Go beat your drum.
He's probably doing that while he's watching.
She ain't get me, Westland. Cause that was never a secret. That was never a secret.
Is that something that you tell somebody on the first date?
I think I'd probably
On the first date?
Yeah, do you?
I wouldn't have no problem in saying. I mean, that wasn't what I was gonna say.
So
but,
what was you gonna say?
I mean, okay, I snore and I drool.
I'm not surprised at that. Well, if we're talking about that,
We'll be back after these messages.
I think for me, if we're talking about bedroom stuff, I mean, every now and then I rock myself to sleep.
You what?
Every now and then I rock myself to sleep.
Like this?
No, like side to side. I ain't bullshitting.
I mean, there's some shit that I can put out there.
I've done my little one leg. I just.
Okay, yeah.
Shit.
Every now and then I might do the one leg thing. But it's only like when I can't sleep. But for the most part, as soon as my head hit the pillow, I am out.
I mean, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, but I don't think that that's like a big secret. Let me see.
He's trying to get the dirt out.
That's what it was. Why
No. I mean,
y'all want to be all conservative and shit. You want to talk about the goddamn onions.
Yeah, ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about you want to eat an onion. That's what you'll tell a woman? Get the fuck out of here.
It was on the menu.
Oh, Rich said, I will tell her just in case if things get hot, check my left pocket instead of my right for it. Oh, it falls to the right.
Damn. Man,
He's
that's
going in
fucked up.
timeout. He's going in timeout.
That's fucked up. That's what happens when you stay home.
My secret is if that date is whack, I'm going to go to the restroom and never come back.
So what qualifies as a whack date?
Bad conversation.
That okay. Where you leave them?
You mean bad in terms of they can't hold your attention?
Yes.
Okay. And what does it take to be on a stimulating conversation with you? You know, what on a date? What's a stimulating conversation?
I mean, getting to know somebody. I'd like to know first about them, their views on different things. I mean, I'm not off limits with the politics, religion, anything like that. I'm like, speak on it.
Are you technical on a date?
Not at all.
You sure?
I'm a fantastic listener.
I'm just asking. Because you're like technical on everything, and that's why I asked that question.
I'm not that technical on everything.
I mean, you and I can talk. Like, I remember the first time I met you, and it felt like I knew you for a long time. It was like...
We had a good conversation.
We had a good conversation.
And it wasn't technical.
And it wasn't technical. Yeah, so... Yeah, you were actually a great conversationalist. Hence, here we are.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
See, I don't have to be technical.
Yeah.
I might think that way, but no.
You do, though. Would you say you overthink a lot?
Yes.
I think I come to a decision on things, but I'm
open.
open.
Cautious.
to ideas.
He does.
Okay.
He does think a lot. I am his conscious.
You are. And as far as you on a date, what's for you? What's your deal breaker? Is it conversation or what are you looking for? You gotta go up in your head for this one.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be searching for a long time.
No.
You're conscious.
I think I think it's attraction. It's how that woman looks on the first date.
Without the filters and the little wreath around their head and all that stuff.
Yeah. Without the little cat things and shit that we went.
Oh, that's what's that? The Snapchat.
Yeah, the Snapchat.
Okay.
Let me tell you,
I
some
could
of
do
y'all
that.
need to get off those
I'm not
filters.
on
Them
Snapchat.
filters
Because I've seen
is such a mother.
They turn dark to light and I'm like, I don't even recognize some people.
And they got the filter where you can just change your eyes, make your eyes look sexier than what they are, with the little. What's up with the leaf wreath?
I hate that.
Yeah, I'm not on
You
it.
know,
just-
but
people
I think
just
it's the
lie.
attraction because the thing about it is, let's say if you get a woman that doesn't really know how to converse, but she knows what she wants to say and she's saying and different things like that, but she's not a big conversationalist.
Okay.
That is not a.
That's not a deal breaker.
It's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
What's a deal breaker is, that the appearance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's they say that what they say about the looks, the
You want her to have
first day, first impression.
First impression is
is
last.
everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the deal breaker for me is if you look good, but your breath is grouchy.
He said grouchy. He said grouchy.
And 9 times out of 10,
yes, he did.
that if your
said
breath
grouchy.
smells,
Grouchy.
then you have a bad case of Zachley. And that's not good.
And so, how would you approach that?
How do you tell somebody that they got the case of Zachley? I'm just trying to understand that part.
Well, I think I wouldn't say that.
I would. You got to be honest. Do you understand? Do you know what Zachley is?
No, I've
No,
never
I'll tell
heard
you.
that.
Okay. So a person who has a bad case of Zachley is this: that their breath smells exactly like their ass.
Ooh. That's not good.
I don't think everybody with bad breath has that smell.
That's
But-
not that is
Ass
that.
breath is not a good thing.
Listen.
Right, but here's my thing. Okay, so you're out on a date with someone, and you can smell their breath across the table. I think that they should too.
They what?
They should smell their own breath,
Some people don't.
and they may
A
be
dog
kind
doesn't know
of
his own
I
stuff.
mean, are you talking about the breath doing the moonwalk across the?
right.
Do
So,
do 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 do.
Do you hurt
breath
that-
doing it. The joint out of the thriller movie.
I'm not with you. Do you hurt their feelings, or how? You know, what do you say to that? And
You know,
and because their breath stink, does that mean you're not going to go out with them again?
Okay, here's the thing. This is what I would do. If I smelt a woman's breath, I'm holding my hand Tic Tacs. So what I would do is I would take one, close it up.
And
Careful
slide
one.
it across the table.
Careful
Right.
one.
That's polite.
If the person says no thank you,
Which they usually do.
which they usually do,
See,
that is a bad case.
yeah, because you know what?
Do you know the reason why?
But does that mean that you won't date them again?
Yep.
Are you all that petty?
No, I'm gonna tell you something.
I am.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
I
I'm gonna
think
tell you
that's
like
so
this.
petty.
I'm gonna tell you like
I-
this. If you got the yuck
I don't know. I'm
mouth,
probably about to.
I'm not
probably hit
messing
it
with
first.
you. I can't do the yuck mouth.
You said what? I heard what you said, but you said what?
I probably gotta see what the.
You would still hit it
Oh no.
from the back.
Oh no. no possible chance. Because I'm gonna tell you, if the mouth ain't clean,
If hold on.
You know the rest of it isn't right.
Hold on. So you never met a woman with a banging body and a bad breath?
You know, medical condition.
Huh?
Some people might have like a medical condition.
But they know that they got the medical condition.
I understand that. What I'm saying is they may be so immune to the smell. For you, it's new. For them, it's regular. So I'm just saying.
Listen, when you can smell somebody's breath where it smells like they've been eating Dookie Mints, okay? A person knows when that breath smells.
Because you're not the first person to tell them that their breath smells like ass.
It's true. And I think with all of the products on the market, I think that it should be no reason for you to have bad breath, body odor. It's like being out. Years ago, I remember going out on the date, and oh my God, this guy smelled like he just left Mama Mia's with the fried onions and cheesesteak, and we went dancing, and oh my God, he just kept raising them arms and stuff, and I thought,
sure like a
oh, he wasn't sure. I thought I was going to die. But, I mean, and you know when you ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I've said this many times about myself because I don't have a problem snatching the sheets off of me. I said when I went to have my mammogram, you know, for the ladies, y'all know we can't wear deodorant. Mm-hmm. And I asked the nurse, listen, I need to know how long before y'all take me back here. Because let me tell you about these underarms. They will show up and show out. You understand what I'm saying?
That's real.
That's real.
Show up. Show up.
And I'm constantly doing like this, you know, sniffing, because I know at any moment it's going to get real.
Damn, all picture on the timer.
She said it's probably going to be another 30 minutes.
Oh,
and you know
damn.
what I'm saying? That's not going to work for me. I need to be 15 minutes or less, or it's going to get live up in here. But that's what I mean. I think it comes down to people have to know their bodies. I know that about myself.
Right.
I cannot go longer than 30 minutes without underarm deodorant. It's just not a game.
But
I know. They know what
and they know. And they know. They know.
When I told her, let me tell you about this old white lady looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what? I said, Miss, listen.
It's real.
It's real. These arms will show up.
These arms are real
and
in the
turn
battlefield.
this place out, okay?
Mm.
So, she said, well, come on, go with me. Because it wasn't a game.
See,
I feel
that's something. So you don't wear deodorant?
No, my point was for a mammogram and
y'all can't
wear deodorant before the mammogram. You can't wear lotion or anything.
But it ain't no difference as if you all smelt a man. Cause some of y'all petty that y'all would tell them.
But see, that's the
if you smelt a man's breath on a first date, I mean breath where the bitch is hooked up to his ass.
Well, he can't kiss me because then on the way home, that's probably all I'm going to be smelling.
And it seems like that a motherfucker with bad breath. Listen. A motherfucker with bad breath is always talking about things that either has the letter F
or H,
S, H.
I never noticed that.
Or P's.
Everything's
y'all petty.
Personally.
But I think that, like
I
you
to
said,
be around people.
Y'all petty as hell.
Oh, did you get your hair
like you said, you keep Tic Tac.
So
you offer them one. I think it's polite. You know, would you like to have one?
See, my mama.
What kind of car do you drive? I drive a Ford Fusion.
My mama said, okay, if somebody offers you a mint or gum, always take it because they might be trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
So,
but not everybody was taught that.
They need to learn it because it's not the first time somebody said.
And I always find that the people that do, they're always the ones that say no. Yeah.
But then I was also told that if you smell yourself, other people can smell you.
And you always do. How could you not?
Some people are in denial.
Because
but I think it comes down to knowing your body. Like I said, the underarm thing. I mean, I know that about myself. I think that it comes down to knowing your body, using the things that work for you. If you have an odor, it's because you still don't know your body. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a deal breaker on first date?
Or they don't care?
I think it's a deal breaker if they don't change it.
If they don't care, that's the problem. Because, I mean, it's just like everything else.
You
People
understand
don't
what
want to
I'm
be honest
saying?
with themselves. They want to be honest
They
with
don't want to be honest. If I say to you that you have, you have an odor of some kind, and we go out on a second date, and it's still the same, that means you don't care.
Oh, we're not getting to the first one if you funky. It's just not going to happen.
I think that I'm not
you petty.
Shallow.
Yeah, you was.
No, not like that. I mean, I think that some of the stuff y'all saying, like...
That's not shallow. That's
I think that is. I think that if you can help the person improve their, their odor or themselves, I think it's worth a try to say that I'm not going to go out with him on the second date because his breath stinks. I'm not that person because that's something that can be changed.
What if he asks you for a kiss?
We're not kissing.
No kiss on the face neither.
We're not kissing because I'm going to have that odor on the side of my face going home.
And you're going to have that trauma for the rest of the
week. You're going to be mad at them.
Yeah.
Like,
but we can talk about it on the second date.
Gonna be mad as fuck going home.
There would be no second date.
No, I mean, because I think that's something that can change. I think that's something a person can work on.
I don't believe I should have to change.
I can't date this person because their breath stink. That's something that can change.
Red flag.
That's something that can change.
That's a red flag. If you a grown ass person and you still walk around stinking like ass, I can't mess with you because clearly you have other issues going on in your life. If you can't do the basics of having hygiene, oh no, that means you're just fucked up already.
Right.
You probably lazy. You're probably your home stink. Your car stink.
Doesn't mean they lazy or they don't know their body.
That means they lazy.
Listen.
It's like, look, you gotta go. You gotta go extra past the normal. I know, like myself, if I'm at work and I'm running around. And I'm feeling like I'm not feeling good, something. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I will excuse myself, go to the restroom, get some paper towels, some water, and some of that soap, and I'm going to go ahead and wash up on myself during the middle of the day because I don't want to walk around like that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
And I think as women, speaking for women, that there are so many products on the market, we have all kind of feminine wipes and wash. There's no reason for bad hygiene, and you do have to know what works for your body and what does not. I think that when you decide to go on a date with someone, you take precautions, you fix yourself up, your best foot forward. You understand what I'm saying? If you go out with, well, this is all me, they have to accept me, and you don't do a damn thing.
No, that's bull.
Yeah, that's
bull.
lazy.
No.
That's lazy.
That's bull.
That's just nasty.
I think that, we should be careful on how we present ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
True.
We are looking for something when we're out with these people. So we should represent ourselves in a manner, what we give off that we're hoping to receive in return. I think that leave the representative at home, be yourself. In order to be yourself, but in order to be yourself, you have to know yourself.
And love yourself.
And love yourself. And it's hard to be yourself if you don't know who you are. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. So they create this persona that's not them. It becomes hard to maintain. You know, as we said in the beginning, because you meet somebody that's a nice person, does that mean that they are the right person for you? It does not. There are a lot of factors that go into that. You know what I'm saying? They might have that one check mark on the list, but there are so many other things that you could or could not be looking for. When you're talking about the wish list and the God-fearing man or woman, please understand what that means. What that means to you may not be the same to someone else. You understand? What I'm going to say in terms of these relationships, you have to know yourself and understand your character flaws and things that you need to improve on. Don't make such ridiculous demands and you're not willing to improve on yourself.
I would say, since it is the 9 o'clock hour,
yeah,
that was an excellent way to wrap that up. I mean, how can I can't go behind that.
All right. Well,
I ain't gonna try to go behind that.
That you just said it all right there.
Okay.
Very nice.
Well, I thank you, my Instagram friends, for tuning in. I love and appreciate each and every one of you for supporting the Intimacy Chronicles. Tonight's episode will be uploaded later on at on YouTube at Queen Jackie A, the Intimacy Chronicles. We will be back here next Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will stream live from Instagram from 8 to 9. Also, for those of you that have mobile phones, you can listen to us at www.streetlegalradio.com. You can also download the Street Legal Radio app from Google Play
and
iTunes. iTunes. Okay, so that way you never miss an episode. We get live. Definitely send me your suggestions, be it DM. You can email me at she'sthequeen@queenjackie.net for topic of interest to you. And thanks again. Have a great evening, everyone.
All right.
Done. That was a great show.